Active learning activities. An active learning activities is any type of activity, maybe during these different types of learning styles, which are face-to-face, online, or hybrid learning, or outside of class. It engages learners in deep thought about the subject matter in their chosen course. This learning strategy also requires students to become active participants in their teaching or learning process. Other term for active learning is dynamic learning. It draws in learning using activities such as reading, writing, discussion, or problem solving. It can promote analysis, synthesis, and evaluation of class. Active learning creates the opportunity for deeper learning. However, students' resistance to this type of learning is often high. It requires students to face challenges and take a risk in the field where they don't have prior knowledge with. Cooperative learning activities. Inquiry and inductive learning activities. Inquiry-based learning is a learning and teaching method that prioritizes students' questions, ideas, and analysis. It focuses on investigating an open question or problem, and it also allows students to move beyond general curiosity into the area of critical thinking and understanding. Inductive learning, or also known as discovery learning, is a process where the learner discovers rules by observing examples. This is an effective teaching strategy because it encourages participation, which helps any activity to be more interesting and exciting. As we are all aware, the more interesting the activity is, the easier it is to get the students' attention and be more focused on the lesson. The inductive teaching method is also effective for developing perceptual and observational skills. Students learn how to process data and how to use it properly. Learner-centered instructional strategies. A learner-centered strategy views learners as active agents. They may bring their own knowledge, past experiences, education, and ideas, and this impacts on how they take on board new information and learnings. This allows students to construct their own knowledge. There are plenty of learner-centered instructional methods that can be seen on the internet, where you can get ideas to become one of your flaws of your teaching style. Cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is educational approach which aims to organize classroom activities into academic and social learning experiences. Cooperative learning involves structuring classes around small groups that work together in such a way that group members' success is dependent on the group's success. The purpose of this learning is to make each member a strong individual in his or her right. Students learn together so that they can subsequently perform higher as individuals. It showcases the positive effect of interdependence while underlining the importance of personal responsibilities. Presentations. A presentation method is your way in which you deliver your presentation. It is just as important as organizing your material ahead of your presentation. Teachers are essentially professional presenters, talking to a group of students, parents, and other teachers is already considered as presentations. This means teachers give presentations constantly. Panels/experts. Students learn in a more active, collaborative environment with reduced reliance on teachers. Expert panel was designed in 3 stages of activities: exploration, experimentation, and reflection. The expert panel exercise mimics news conferences, panels, and other media settings in a way that it engages students and provides time-efficient opportunities to demonstrate how human factors principles and reflect in real world incidents and accidents. Starting involvement in the master board has been promising and seems by all accounts to be a significant method for advancing a more profound comprehension of uses of human elements information. KWL or KWHLAQ. KWL charts are graphic organizer that helps students organize information before, during, and after a unit or a lesson. A KWHLAQ is an extended version of the very popular KWL chart. KWL stands for Know, Want to Know, and Learn. It is an effective way to read with purpose. KWL is easy to apply and can lead to significant improvement in your ability to learn efficiently and to retain what you have learned. On the other hand, KWHLAQ stands for Know, What, How, Learned, Apply, and Questions. It is a simple but very effective instructional technique which puts the students at the center of inquiry-based learning.
Good day everyone. So for my part, I will continue to discuss about the method and strategies. So the first one is brainstorming. So brainstorming is a problem-solving activity where students build on or develop higher-order thinking skills. It also encourages creative thought. So brainstorming also encourages students to think creatively, let us say out of the box, and also encouraging all students to share their ideas no matter how far out there they may seem. So brainstorming brings team members' diverse experience into play. It increases the richness or ideas explored. So brainstorming is a large or group activity that encourages students to focus on a topic and contribute to the free flow of ideas. So when is the brainstorming may happen? So brainstorming may happen if a teacher begin by posing question or a problem, or let us say by introducing a topic. So how the brainstorming can help the students? So it can help the students by their expressing their possible answer, relevant words or ideas. So if maghatag ang student og any idea, dapat it is accepted without any criticism or judgment. So the next one is the learner created. So students create the content that will be the basis of their language learning. We start from students' world and understanding and build on that. A teacher elicits language from the students, forming a material. This material is the basis for further language activities and practice. So, the learner created on based what I understood about this, it is another way to encourage and engage the students in learning. This can help the students to keep the content and refer to it when needed. Maghimo ang mga estudyante og ilahang own content by the limited resources and access. For example, sa public library, they can able gain an idea dito and make their own content. So the next one is the discussion. So discussion is a practice in which the instructor and students share views on a specific topic previously lectured. Promoting and facilitating classroom discussion can not only help students learn from one another, but also help students understand and retain the lecture better. So for the discussion, it is very important naman because it is a way where students process information rather than simply receive it. Lahi ra jud nang i-discuss sa tuwa, diba? Kay mas magets nato. So by this, it can able to increase students' learning and also can motivate every student. So the next one is jigsaw. So the jigsaw strategy as a group of students to become experts on a specific text or body of knowledge and then share that material with another group of students. So this strategy offers a way to help students and understand and retain information while they develop their collaboration skills. So for the jigsaw, it is also very helpful because it can build the comprehension, ma-encourage ang cooperative learning among students skill. So paano man siya ma-apply in a method of teaching. So the teacher will divide a group and a lesson. So mahimo na siyang subcategories. Then each small group would be created with one student and receiving one subcategory of the lesson, and that was the time nga mag-start ang mga estudyante to make that jigsaw. So the next one is small group. So small group discussion provides students the opportunity to share ideas or opinions without having to address the entire class. So small group discussion range in levels of structure. A simple group discussion asks students to divide into small groups and democratically discuss a prompt provided by the instructor. So in a small group, this is a method na ma-address ang gap in every student's knowledge. Advantage lang jud ni ang small group is that mahatagan ang every student og chance to practice the higher order thinking skills and also ma-improve ang ilang academic achievement, ang relationship with their classmates, and ma-promote ang ilang psychological well-being. Pero ang most important jud sa small group is that ma-provide ang opportunities for flexible and differentiated learning. So next is the case study. Case studies is an instructional method, not a theory, that refers to assigned scenarios based on situation in which students observe, analyze, record, implement, conclude, summarize, or recommend. So case studies are created and used as a tool for analysis and discussion. So when we say case studies, isa pod siya ka way to get students to practically apply their skills and their understanding of learned facts, mga kamatuuran. Sa real world situation na, mas ma-actively engage ang students to figuring out the principles. For example, maghatag ang teacher og reading materials or video to watch that summarizes the case. So, ang students will individually solve the case study. So, next is the Learning Center. A learning center is a self-contained section of the classroom in which students engage in independent and self-directed learning activities. A learning center is a space set aside in the classroom that allows easy access to a variety of learning materials in an interesting and productive manner. So the learning center, it helps to allow the students to feel satisfied by completing purposeful activities. Maka-engage ang mga students sa hands-on activities as they explore and experiment. Then, ma-encourage ang student to think critically about the concept and skill and apply them to the task they are to complete within each centers. So, in sum, ang learning centers allow students to develop appropriately. So, the next one is the laboratory. So, laboratory classes provide students with first-hand experience with course concept and with the opportunity to explore methods used by scientists and their discipline. So, leading a laboratory session has particular challenges and opportunities that differ from those in a standard classroom environment. So, the laboratory can also help students nga ma-learn to address challenges by directly observing it. Ma-develop niya ang skills necessary for more advanced student or ang research. It can able to provide opportunity ang students to explore course concept and must na opportunity ang students nga mag-explore also sa method nga ginagamit sa scientists and their discipline. So, it is a necessary nga ang school, di ba, na yung mga science laboratory, importante kay na for students utilize the data gathered from book as well as from the materials, di ba, mas kailangan siya sa laboratory. Also, they can use various tools and experiments with different techniques. So, the last one is this experiment. So, experiment are activities where any number of students work in a groups on carefully designed guided inquiry and questions. So, materials provide students with the means of collecting data through interaction with typical laboratory materials, data stimulation tools, or a decision-making environment, as well as a series of questions that lead to discovery-based learning. So, the last one, which is the experiment, can use to introduce new ideas. Pag ma-convince kasi ang results sa experiments, nahimo sa ma-convince ang isa ka student sa nahimo nila nga experiment, this will be the time that students are in position to build ownership of the new ideas. Use it in a learning, magamit nila jud ni. And by this, it allows students to experiment with trial and error. Maka-learn sila from their mistakes and understand nila ang potential gap of every individual student. So that would.
Today, I am going to discuss or continuing about the method and strategies of learner-centered pedagogy. So, what is laboratory method in teaching? So, laboratory teaching assumes that first-hand experience in observation and manipulation of the materials of science is superior to other methods of developing understanding and appreciation. So, laboratory training is also frequently used to develop skills necessary for more advanced study or research. So, about Ani, so when it comes to laboratory teaching, so we can see or we can observe about that teaching method that it operates about the materials in science and which the statement said that it is superior or higher towards other methods, and also on the laboratory it is the type of learning that involves actual experimentation, and we experience this kind of teaching on our high school days. For example,
just like science subject, so mostly. So then students do hands-on work with this teaching that improves their experimental and design skills as well as their data gathering and analytical abilities. So problem like also problem solving ability. So that's the part of the laboratory method and strategies. So next is workshop. So workshop is a teaching method that encourages pupils to be self-directed and creative in their learning. The workshop model encourages students to take ownership of their own education by being actively involved in their work and understanding development. So this kind of teaching method, it caters to students to be self-directed. So when you say self-directed, so it means that the students are making its own decisions and organizing its own work. So in that way, they will become creative with their own ways or how they obtain info, so or learn. And also with this method for teacher, it can help them the teacher to plan their time and stay organized, and it makes teacher more productive because more time, and it focus to the students instead it focus students instead of paperwork, and they can mingle with their other students, so which can make good outcome. Next is demonstration. Demonstration is a teaching method used to communicate an idea with the aid of visuals such as flip charts, posters, PowerPoint, etc. A demonstration is the process of teaching someone how to make or do something in a step-by-step process, as you show how or you tell what you are doing. So this method, mostly we can see or we can experience this as students. So this uses visual aids in any presentation to make it more nice. We can relay the information to the students. We can see that during high school, we have experienced this demo, and soon we can experience this also. So in this method, it is specifically dictate the process in which the details and information is clear, especially with the examples. So that is demonstration. So next is the index card. So using index card during activities can be a quick and easy way to gain feedback from students about how well they feel they understand a subject. So index card can be used in a number of ways to foster engagement and cohesion within a group. So index card is a very useful that it makes the teacher to easily gain feedback to its students. So if the lesson is well informed or didn't get by the students, so we can see that also index card has a lot of uses. Like for example, it is used for seating charts, for responses, and for other activity. Okay, because in a classroom there's a lot of students, and hard to individually speak them because it will took a lot of time for them. So the index card is a big help. So next slide is So next is the inquiry based. So inquiry based instruction is a student-centered approach where the instructor guides the students through question posed, method designs, and data interpreted by the students. So through inquiry, students actively discover information to support their investigation. So inquiry-based, it helps the students generate their own content-related questions and guide the investigations. Like, for example, if the students assigned topic about the global pollution issues, and students will review information about on that. So issue that and they will create a unique approach that can manage or eliminate a certain type of pollution. And of course, doing this kind of activity, it needs to be practical, that in such investigation, it needs valid information to support, and to the point na we as a students will act as the person in front to solve this kind of issue practically with all the budget, and if effective ang research or the solutions acquired, and so on. So that is inquiry based. So next is the mental models. So what is mental models? So a mental model is a mental representation that A mental models any organized pattern, so it often a visual representation consisting of both structure and process. So that help us students comprehend content knowledge or solve problems relative to the principle being taught. Advanced organizers are often thought of as mental models. So, mental model is a mental representation. So, when we say mental representation, it is about that it represents our knowledge, memories, and mga ideas within our mind. With our mind. So, it mental model is an explanation of someone thought process about how something works in real world. So, it also have an ability to shape our behavior and improve decision making. So, for example, about this mental model is example if this week is the week we are going to focus we are focusing on jogging, and that's mental part, which is it is your goal, and you want to start jogging every 5 in the morning. Tas you are tas kapuyon na ka or katulgod pa ka because bilar ka, but this mental model will help you focus on the specific thing nga na build nimo before on that event. So that's why, as what it has stated earlier, that advanced organizers are often often of as a model. So that is mental model, and that's all. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I will be continuing a report which is the methods and strategies of the learner-centered pedagogy. So, what is project-based learning? Project-based learning or project-based instruction is an instructional approach designed to give students the opportunity to develop knowledge and skills through engaging projects set around challenges and problems that they may face in the real world. So, project-based learning is a progressivism approach, which means that learners learn by doing. So, students learn through their own experiences, like engaging in real world and solving real-world problems. It needs a long period of time for the students to solve, investigate, and respond to the problems that they may face in the real world. So, it is engaging since it could be a form of a group project. Since it is project-based, the students' knowledge will enhance more. Just like doing an experiment, you will not achieve the result in just one day. So, it really needs time and observation for the students to produce a result, and that's the time where all their questions will be answered. So, students develop and improve more their knowledge and skills because the students are the ones who are experiencing everything. Next is problem-based learning. Problem-based learning is a teaching strategy during which students are trying to solve a problem or accept problems unfamiliar to them. Problem-based learning is underpinned by a constructivist approach. As such, it promotes active learning. Activities are carried out with groups of students, typically in a tutorial or seminar setting. So, this is the time that learners will solve problems that they had encountered for the first time, in which those unfamiliar problems must be solved, and the learners are the ones to figure this out on their own. Though most activities done on this matter are group activity, whereas it is underpinned by a constructivist approach, since the learners are the ones that must construct their own solution to a particular problem that they are not familiar with. So, in most cases, this is the ones that were done before a discussion. Just like the teacher will give a priming activity to give a hint of the new topic that they are going to discuss and what to expect, or somehow it might be connected to a previous topic a long time ago. While if it's really new to them, then they can make their own ideas out of their own realizations as they construct answers to these problems. Next is discovery learning. Discovery learning is an inquiry-based learning method that takes a constructivist approach to education, where students are encouraged to construct their own knowledge through a self-directed learning process, essentially instructionless learning. So when we talk about discovery learning, it is an inquiry-based learning method since this will happen between the learner and itself. Also, it is a constructivist approach since the learners are the ones who will make the discovery, meaning it is based on the idea that students construct their own understanding and knowledge of the world through experiencing things and reflecting on those experiences. Hence, they are encouraged to construct their own knowledge through self-directed learning process, which refers to the process that the learner are the ones who will initiate to gain such information or find answers to their curiosity. That is why it is an instructionless learning. Next is Q&A sessions. Q&A sessions are formats that allow audiences to ask questions to the speakers. Q&As originate in the events industry, where short Q&A blocks are typically held after each speaker slot to engage the audience and give them a chance to ask the speaker additional questions. Social media Q&A sessions take place during a live webinar and allow audience members or those watching at home to ask questions via social media and get direct responses from those answering the questions. So Q&A sessions, social media. So in Q&A sessions, the audience are allowed to ask questions to the speakers after their discussions. Since we are talking about social media, then the best example for this is when we are having class through Google Meet. So you notice that the teacher will discuss first the lesson or topic, and then after discussion, the teacher will say any questions, any clarifications, and that's the time where the students are free to ask any questions regarding to the topic or any other questions. Next is games or gamification. So a game is an activity or sport usually involving skill, knowledge, or chance in which you follow fixed rules and try to win against an opponent or to solve a puzzle. Gamification is about the application of game-like attributes to motivate and encourage the learners to achieve the desired learning outcome. So a game is an activity which is participated by individuals or groups in order to enjoy or compete with each other and win against their opponent. A gamification is the application of game-like attributes. Like, for example, when the teacher has a game and lets his or her students participate, but instead of those common games like the panay or bagol-bagol, it involves the lessons that you have tackled. So the learners will enrich their lifelong ability to solve problems, think critically, and social awareness since they are to encounter their fellow learners as well, cooperate with their team, and collaborate with other people, in which the reason why gamification motivates the learners individually, since just like how children play, of course, they aim to win, just like how kids used to play, and because of this, they will do their best. They get to be more interested since it is fun for them, which leads to improvement of grades and enhancing their cognitive abilities. Last is competition. The definition of a competition is a contest, sports match, or rivalry. First, the act of process trying to get or win something others are also trying to get or win. 2. A contest in which all who take part strive for the same thing. So, competition is like a game also, wherein individuals participate and try to win something, but in a competitive way. It is a way for the learners to be competitive, and each learner will strive harder to win. So it is a great process that enables the student to do its best and is motivated to provide every information within its grasp, and the teacher will achieve its desired learning outcome.